Yeah, hi guys, quick comparison here between an expandable garden hose and a stainless steel garden hose, which is not expandable, not shrinkable. And the reason why I made this comparison is because I've been planting two new palm trees in my front yard, and so I have to water them every day. It's quite some distance, I would say close to maybe 70 feet or so. And so of course I decided first to try with the expandable garden hose, and it's not just any expandable, it's the number one silver bullet pocket hose, 75 feet. And so I attached it here. It looks pretty nice. Everybody knows, even though it looks a little bit entangled, usually when we pull it, especially while it's not under pressure, we can pull it apart and all the knots are usually dissolving. The worst you can do, of course, with an expandable garden hose is to close the nozzle and then open the faucet, and then it will entangle for sure. So of course I didn't do that, so I was just pulling here, made it straight. But you can see, of course, there's quite some distance missing here to the palm tree because it's not inflated. So I had to go back here, back to the faucet, open the faucet, and then it would inflate or expand, actually make this garden hose longer. So I was grabbing and then pulling and pulling and pulling, and so I thought I could easily reach the palm tree then, but actually not. I mean, I was pretty close, but not totally close. So I went back to check what happened, and as you can see, it was still entangled here and also I think in a second location. And so I solved this, went back, could water the palm tree. Then at the very end, when you're finished, you close the nozzle. What you shouldn't do when you're finished with an expandable garden hose is to close the faucet and open the nozzle here, so it would shrink and then pull back, because it would be pulling too much on the outlet here. That's not a good thing. So I brought the nozzle back while under pressure, put it here. I hope you can see that. Closed the faucet then, and then opened the nozzle to release the pressure. You can see that here goes halfway to the palm tree, and now it's shrinking, and because of the shrinking it starts pulling here. I hope you can see that. It starts pulling on the water outlet more and more and more, which I think is not a good thing, of course, depending on how the faucet is attached. But then I was laying down the nozzle while it was still spraying water, and then it caused a huge mess. I was totally wet at the very end. The wall was totally dirty. It was an absolute disaster. So my experience with the shrinkable expandable hose was definitely a huge disappointment, huge mess. I was expecting that it would be the better solution, but you can also see it was rubbing quite heavily on the pavers. So I think also not a good thing with an expandable garden hose when you just pull it over concrete pavers or whatsoever. So the experience was absolutely bad. You can see I was totally wet, and so I figured it would be time for a much better solution, and that's a stainless steel garden hose. Of course, you can see it uses up more space. It's much better visible. That's something which my wife doesn't like too much, of course, especially when it's visible from the road. But at the very end, I can tell you it's definitely worth it, because I was just putting it here, and then doesn't even matter if you turn it on or off. You can already turn on the water, doesn't matter, because it's not expandable. Can just grab the nozzle and start pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling. And the only limit here was the road, because as you can see the hose is absolutely straight. So I just put it down here, went back to check and turn on the faucet, and so you can see it's pretty much straight line here from the faucet to the palm tree. It didn't entangle at all, and again you can turn on the water right from the beginning. It doesn't matter. And to pull it back you can just pull, of course depending on how sensitive the nozzle is. Maybe not so recommended to do that, because there could be some scratches on the nozzle. But regarding the water hose, I've been pulling the water hose now a couple of times back like that, just pulled it back, and there was absolutely no damage, nothing to see on the hose. The only scratches were on the nozzle, And so I decided it would be the better solution to bring back the nozzle first, put it down, and then just keep pulling the remaining part of the hose. And now so it's here ready for the next watering process. So next time I can just pull on the nozzle. I don't have to do anything. I've done this now a couple of times. There was never any entangling, and so it saved me also a lot of time, lot of hassle. I can tell you it's such a huge difference. I mean, if you just need a rather short hose, maybe also in the backyard where you have some lawn, then you could also be happy with an expandable hose. But here in the front, especially when you have to go over driveway, pavers, concrete, whatsoever, you have really large distance, then the only real good solution is a stainless steel hose, I can tell you. There's absolutely no doubt about that. So definitely full recommendation from my side for this stainless steel garden hose. And so if you're interested, I'll put down the link to the Amazon listing down into the description so you can check it out and order one for you if you like it. And I hope I've been able to help you a little bit with this video. If you have any questions or comments, or if you want to share your own experience either with an expandable water hose or with a stainless steel water hose, then just let us know down in the feedback area. I'm always happy to talk about these things. And if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.